Hey guys, welcome to the first lesson or the first issue, session, whatever, in this mini course I put together. It's the first time I've ever done something like this, put together a mini course to take what I know and what I do for a living and to distill it down into such a way that I can teach somebody else. Because this is something that you can learn to do for yourself. Wow, that really is not where I want to go. Hi guys, Scott Collins here. Thanks for signing up for my email newsletter and this mini course. I'm excited to do this. I've never done something like this before. But what I have to teach, what I have to show to you, I believe can transform your life. And I believe it's the first step. If you have been through the ringer, emotional ringer, with regard to your divorce, and if you want to get some emotional relief, be able to move on, be able to create more of the life that you want to live as you move forward, in my opinion, this is the first step. So what I did, uh, what I did was I bought this online program to teach me how to create my business out of this blog, and they said when I'm doing this email course, the first thing I need to do is to tell you my story. I got to tell you, I'm real uncomfortable with this. Uh, Stuff I'm going to share with you, basically, I haven't shared with much of anybody, uh, and a lot of it's embarrassing. If you know me, if you part of my personal life, take that into account that you may know some of these people, uh, know some of these stories that go through here. But the fact is that it's the reason why I am where I am now, and how I came up with solutions to problems that I didn't realize were the real problem, and how effective and efficient and enduring these solutions are. And this is what I wanted to share with you. It all comes out of this story. So let's just start. I've got notes here. I got like 7 cards with notes on it to keep me, because I have a tendency to go offline. Let me tell you some relevant facts. I was 23 when I got married. I was 35 when I got divorced. We had no kids. She was a great woman. She was a lot better person back then than I was. But we were married for 12 years. We had a lot of the typical problems that people have in their marriages, and especially about sex. Early on in our marriage, the sex became a problem, and it evolved into what was like a real good friendship. But I wasn't getting my sexual satisfaction out of it. It wasn't what I bargained for. It's kind of sex every couple months type of deal. So anyway, that was the environment that I grew up with. There's one more thing I want to talk about because it's relevant kind of later in the story. I also was a very introverted person. Uh, I grew up kind of isolated from most kids. I was the youngest in 5 kids, but our family was kind of spread out. So I spent most of my time alone, and we lived way far away from town. So I didn't get a chance to socialize with other kids except at school. So as a result, I never developed a lot of the social skills that younger people developed. The people developed that they have as they go on. I was uh, socially awkward, very, very socially awkward. But I was also outgoing. I survival strategy that I come up with it. I had all these self-esteem issues as a kid because it was also a very religious household, and so there was a lot of shame and guilt that I felt that formed really how I acted out through a lot of the rest of my life. Okay, so the marriage. I'm looking down here at my notes. Sorry about that. Oh, so what happened was I back then. Well, I look now at the kind of person I was back then. This is 20, 30 years ago. Uh, I'm embarrassed because I was really a jerk. Coming from this background. I had developed this need to really control my life, and I had moral issues. Right, one of the moral issues I could justify a lot of things, and one of the things I justified was that I deserved to have an affair. I deserved to be with a woman that uh, would fulfill my fantasies, that would love me, that wanted me sexually, because my wife didn't. But I loved my wife. She was a great person. She was a great friend. I didn't want to hurt her, right? But I was also so self-absorbed and so, one of the strategies that I had learned as a child to survive was you got to get your own, you got to get it. You know, and sometimes other people get hurt, but still I got to get my own. So what I did was I went on a hunt. I found a woman I had an affair. But then I had this moral dilemma. A couple weeks into it, I was like, I don't want to be the kind of person that can be okay with having an affair and lying to someone that I do love. I loved my ex, but I was also selfish. So I asked her for a divorce. Uh, Now, that's the setup. Fast forward 2 years, 2, 3 years, I don't even know how much it was, but I was in a new city. I was really in fabulous physical shape. I was in the best shape of my life. I'd done boxing and kickboxing for years. And I had all my hair. And I was a new professional in a new city, and I kind of made a splash. I was a little bit of tiny little bit of a known person, celebrity, minor, new guy in town kind of thing. And but what I had done is I kind of dated around. I wasn't eager to jump back into another relationship because I got married at 23. I was kind of into playing around, so I was out of the bars and I was meeting women and going out with my friends and all this stuff. But it reached a point where I kind of picked up all the low-hanging fruit, uh, and I realized if I wanted to meet women, I had to go out. I wasn't dating anyone. I wasn't meeting anybody new, so I had to go out and meet them. And first thing I did was like most guys do, go out and start hitting on women in a bar. Here's the problem though. As great as I thought that I was a middle-aged guy. And I was going out to college bars and trying to hit on young women in college bars. And it turned out to be just humiliating experience. But my philosophy was I want to go where the fish are. That makes sense, right? So I changed my strategy a little bit and I decided to, I'm going to fish, but I'm going to fish where the fish chill and hang out. Now the place where I was living was a big music city, music town. A lot of the bars had live music in it. And so normally in these college bars, the women that I was, young women, 21 to 24, 25, a lot of these college bars. But then a lot of these women mature, they grow up, they get like, this sucks, and then they stop going to bars. So it's harder to find more mature women, more women that you may like. But in the town that I was in, because it was a music town, they would still come out to the bars because they come out and listen to their friends sing and play and songwriters and all that stuff, right? So it was really cool. So I decided that I would go and fish uh, uh, where these bars are, where these particular bars are. But I would, instead of coming in and trying to hit on women, being an outsider coming in like they are and trying to meet them that way, I come in it from the inside. So I moved downtown and I moved into this place where it was like a little concentrated little community, but in about a 200 or 300 foot alley strip here. I had 7 bars, a strip club. 4 of the bars were world famous music venues that were bands that started, all of this stuff. And it worked. I met a lot of women. I went around. Because I didn't just move downtown, right? What I did was I moved my office downtown in the same building and actually an elevator right away. So I lived on this penthouse. I had this incredible place. And then I took an elevator right downstairs, and I had this little office. And then when I walked out my back door, I had this, it was like Bourbon Street down in North New Orleans. Just everything and all these women, and it worked. And I would go around and I met all the owners and met all the servers and the bartenders, and I became friends with people and I helped them out. And, over a period of months, I became kind of well known down there. I had what is called social proof, because I'd walk into a place and the bartender would sit down and drink. I wouldn't have to ask, And then if I was with somebody, then they would treat me like a VIP. And it worked. It was awesome, but it cost a lot of money. I was spending like $400 a week on drinks, buying drinks, tipping people, and all to meet women and fulfill what I thought I was looking for. You know, it was. I left my wife because I wasn't getting the sex. And then I had to be congruent with myself in my own particular moralistic way. So I didn't want to have an affair. But then I didn't want any of these women that I was meeting because I wanted to play. You know, this was my college age. I never went to college when I was young. Wasn't around a lot of young people. You know, I went out working. I was one of those guys. Didn't go to college until I was 28 years old. Um, but anyway, I decided that it was just too expensive for me to be drinking down there. So two things happened. Two things happened with me in this place. One, I hit a point where I just got tired of these meaningless relationships. I go down and I meet these women, and we'd be drinking and playing. And I bring them up, and then they were a lot of tourists or there were a lot of locals, but I didn't. I remember waking up next to this woman, and she was really a cool person. I had no idea what her name was. I brought her up from the last night, and it was meaningless. Again, it was like a moral thing, you know, where I didn't like the feeling. So anyway, I got tired of meaningless relationships coming out of that. And the second thing is I developed this monster drinking problem. And it was because it was just so expensive. So what I did was I started, because I'm only like 3 minutes away. I'm on an elevator right away from getting back onto this game. So I started drinking back in my apartment if I would go out. But then eventually, you know, I abused it so much that it sucked me in. And eventually I was drinking in my apartment and not going out. Then I was going on binges and I developed this really bad drinking problem. It was the start of a really dark period in my life. Um, so it revealed to me, number one, I got a hole in my soul. That was a big deal. But I was trying to address the wrong problem. It's not. I, I had plenty of opportunities with these women that I didn't choose. Plenty of great women. It wasn't the women. That wasn't the problem I was looking for. I solved that problem. Here's how I get women. I still had a problem. I felt bad. I had this hole in my soul. So now what? Now I had a drinking problem, and it destroyed my business, and it destroyed my life at the time. I left that environment just burnt and dark, but during that time it took a long time to go from when it started growing dark to when it got so dark that I left. And it took a long time to destroy everything, and it was a miserable experience. All right, fast forward a couple, 3 years. I'm on the other side. I'm not drinking anymore. Everything's cool. Got my business going back up. Um, but I still got a problem now. Now I got a problem that I don't have any social lubricant. Remember I told you I didn't have social skills growing up. I didn't have any more social skills when I divorced at 35 than I did at 23. And I had very poor social skills. Then I married basically the first woman, decent woman that I could. So next phase, I'm going to jump through this because I took a long time with that. But the next phase was I went through a series where I hired these dating coaches to help me become sociable. And the fact is, it worked. They, I went to, this is another embarrassing thing, 2 boot camps where I met like 5 guys and a couple of instructors, and they would teach us how to meet women in Chicago, and I went to Ann Arbor. I went to Vegas, met a bunch of these guys, and watched them meet women. But my biggest thing was I met this guy named Wayne Elise who had this company called Charisma Arts. And I went to England to do what he called it, and I'm just giving a plug here because it's so incredible. His conversation camp, Charisma Arts, Wayne Elise conversation camp. I want to make sure that gets in there because I recommend every guy do that. That was the single best thing I did to develop my social skills, not just meeting women, but in business. In business and in other just normal social things. This guy's phenomenal, is a phenomenal teacher. So I'm putting that plug in there because I'm just wrapping all this up. I went all these dating skills. I developed great social skills. I can actually now, not now, but then when I was up on all these outside in social things, yeah, you know, became easy again to meet women without the liquor, without the alcohol. But I still had that soul. Nothing had changed. I was still in this dark period. My problem was I had looked for 2 different kinds of solutions. None of it worked. None of it made me feel better. So now looking back, it's a lot easier. looking back, it's a lot easier to understand what I was searching for because I found the solutions. Okay, I found the solutions, and this is all of this has came out. I found the solutions and tools for me. May not be for you, but the thing is, I'm the kind of guy when I'm looking at a solution, I'm looking for something that's effective. I want something that works. I want something that works quickly, so it's efficient, and I want it to. I don't want to come back and do this again. So I want it to be enduring. Most of the solutions that we are presented with are kind of outside in solutions. You know, you fake it till you make it. You bury it into your subconscious until somehow you change within and you feel different inside. To me, that doesn't work because it requires discipline and willpower. You got to focus on this every day. You got to keep yourself up. You got to do your affirmations and write your goals. There's a place and a time for that, but it's not now. Now the place and the time is to is to give you solutions so you can feel better as you're going throughout your day. But going back to my story, what I realized finally, the problem I was searching for, I wanted, and I wrote this down because this is just such a big deal. I wanted to like myself. I'm going through here, I'm trying, if I just do this, if I just have enough money, if I just have this coolest apartment in place, if I just have the most beautiful women, if I have all these things in place, then I'll like myself, and I never did. So I needed a solution for that. Second one is I wanted to enjoy my life. I was living a miserable life. It wasn't enjoyable for me. It was really my response to how I felt other people wanted me to live. Anyway, I realized that. And this is all looking back. This is not stuff I realized way back when. It's not looking back. This is what I was looking for. And the thing is, here's the third one. I wanted to be better at life. I want to be more skilled, like socially, like we're talking about socially. I mean, I had these ideas about how life worked. Then I lived life, and I realized a lot of these ideas weren't wrong, but a lot of times I didn't have better ideas. So I wanted to be better. I wanted to be better at life. That was one of my things, and then I wanted just better results. Like I said, I wanted to enjoy the whole thing. So that was what I was looking for through all of this search over the last 20 years. And what I found, what this entire website's about, what Men Moving Zone upon is about, is to provide you with 3 sets of tools. Right now, I'm just focusing on the first set, but 3 sets of tools that I think are the most valuable things that I've found to set you up to move forward and have a great life, to move on with life. The first set we're focusing on with the Emotional Divorce Toolkit, with this 2-week course, with everything in my website right now is focused on this, is a rapid, effective emotional relief, what I call the Emotional Divorce Toolkit. And what this is a way, you know, one of the things with guys, emotions really are kind of foreign to us in a lot of ways. You know we feel, we understand that, but it's not till you go through something like this divorce that it really hits home how hard it is. The emotion is big, overwhelming, and it comes from everywhere because you feel betrayed, you feel lied to, you feel angry, you feel afraid of the future because you got to deal with this woman. You're embarrassed for some of the things you know. You got all these things going on, right? And then the sorrow, the angst, the regret, all of these things, it overwhelms us. So a guy winds up getting, it's a shock. With this Emotional Divorce Toolkit, the first of the 3 sets of tools I'm going to present to you eventually on this website, we can take care of that. I'm going to teach you how to do that. The next video in this series, I'm going to explain how all of that works. But I want to talk to you about that second set of tools because this is real important. And I want effective emotional relief. I want to end the self-sabotage and just basically lay the playing field in your mind. I got a set of tools to be able to do that for you. So it makes your life easier going on. We're going to be talking about that down the road because emotional things first, but this is coming. And then the third thing is how to create a naturally motivated life, how to find out what you really care about, how to be drawn forward. So all of this is together in my Men Moving On. All of this is a result of this story that I've told you. I'll get more into detail as we go along. But if there's anything that you can relate to in that story, I urge you, stick with me. What I'm going to be showing you guys, I apologize, I'm not professional. I don't have this great camera. Just getting to this stage and actually getting on camera is a huge deal for me because I'm a master procrastinator. But I wanted to do this. This is important because I can help change your life. I fully believe that. I'm doing it with my clients. I've done it with me. It can make a huge difference. You don't know about it. I need to share it with you in the best way that I can, in the most directed way that where my expertise is, and that's in helping guys break this emotional bondage that they have to their ex-wife. So there's my story. I recorded this little in thing that this whole thing's just so unprofessional. Sorry guys, but bear with me. The content's awesome. Thanks.